All righty. So we are recording now. So welcome to another podcast of the Six Pack Dad Tribe. And tonight we are interviewing Bill Whitehead, who has been one of our very, very successful clients. Has taken a slightly different approach to the program than most people have as far as nutrition is concerned. And we wanted to give Bill a chance to introduce himself, kind of tell us how he found the tribe and why he was looking for the tribe, and just how he's gone about the success that he's had. And so, Bill, why don't you introduce yourself to us and tell us exactly how much weight you've lost since you started the program?
All right. As you said, I'm Bill Whitehead, 51 years old, married, father of 8. We had 3 grandchildren last year, a couple more coming this year. I'm work as a director of hardware engineering for a small company, active in my church group, do some side stuff, and I've coached boys volleyball for the last 7 years. So that's been fun. I started out in October of last year. First part of October, I was right around 230, 232, about 24% body fat. As of Saturday, I was at 199.8 and 13.3% body fat. So happy about that, and the journey I'm on.
That's fantastic. And that should be typical of the way the program works. You're kind of slow and steady, but every week we could see that you were chipping away at your goal, and there weren't a lot of backslides, and you followed the program to the T. One of the challenging things that you did, or you maybe made it a little more challenging for yourself, is your diet and food choices. We recommend a lot of protein, low carbohydrates, and you found those carbohydrates and those protein sources from mostly, correct me if I'm wrong, a plant-based diet.
I tried, right?
Okay.
But that was hard. So I did try to look at more vegan options, and it was just difficult with the balance of the carbs and that. But I did end up going with a lot of fish for to help supplement that and stuff. I found out partway through that I had a susceptibility or to dairy, just a little bit. What wasn't horrible, but so I tried to get dairy out. I was using a lot of the protein shakes. One of the things that helped me was I was doing 3 protein shakes a day to help meet the protein needs there. With that stuff, I switched over to a vegan protein drink, and I moved over to coconut milk and water with that. So I do 6 ounces of coconut milk and 6 ounces of water, and the vegan drink there.
Okay.
I do a lot of vegetables though still. Enjoy those. I kind of have those as a big sack of veggies I use at lunchtime throughout the afternoon. Carrots, celery, purple cabbage, sugar snap peas, those type things to help offset that. And then I also do a lot of baby spinach with the meal too and stuff, so it helps kind of blend in with the fish or whatever I'm having there. But I've been trying to follow that and stuff. And my wife and I found a study where if you had, they looked at the various options for high vegetables, high protein, low vegetables, low protein, low vegetables, high protein, high vegetables, low protein. And anytime that you had high vegetables, it seemed to offset the occurrence of cancer, bad things happening. So that was something that we really enjoyed. That helped us to get that higher protein, both plant and some animal there.
Yeah, I don't think we can argue against the fact that more vegetables is good for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. And I think a lot of guys struggle in this program in finding vegetables that they can eat regularly. If you're not a vegetable person, that is a new concept of being able to train your palate to enjoy a variety of different vegetables. Did you find that difficult, or were you a vegetable guy before this?
Well, as part of the journey I've been on, right, stuff, I really enjoyed salads, and vegetables, but it wasn't making, any difference stuff. I wasn't really, I was active, but not really uh, doing weights or other things like that. But I was active, walking, running, but I could enjoy the salads and use those a lot for most of my meals and other stuff. But it just, I was still at 220, 225, 230, not really moving. And, so it was after, with the intermittent fasting and the higher protein, I think, and the exercise, more consistent exercise is what's really been transformative with this program.
Did you find the intermittent fasting to be initially difficult to accustom yourself to?
Yeah, it's been a while now and stuff. I'm accustomed to it now, but
Right.
at first and stuff, it was hard and stuff. Even now, it can be hard at times too. I follow kind of the guidelines due to my work schedule and everything and stuff. I'm up at 5 o'clock to go work out, and
Right.
and so I'll have a protein drink in the morning, so I guess it's not a true fast, but that's all I'll have, either a little bit before and the rest after, or just after the workout.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing a workout fasted, but that helps carry me over, through the morning. But yeah, it was a little hard at first, but now that I'm used to it, it's like, hey, I've got, until 11:30 or 12, whenever I'm gonna start my eating today.
That's a good point you brought up about the protein shake. And I think a lot of guys, there's some confusion on when they can get some sort of sustenance in their body, particularly if they have a hard workout in the morning. I know that if I do a real heavy workout early in the morning, it is a struggle to get to 11 o'clock without feeling miserable. It's not that you can't do it, but we don't want anybody feeling, uncomfortable or miserable until they get to that first meal. People fall off the wagon that way.
Yeah.
So I think having that protein shake and you being an example of, infusing that protein in after a workout before you truly break your fast a little bit later in the day is an important concept.
And that might have slowed my progress, maybe. I don't know, but I think being consistent with it, it helped me, as you were saying, not to fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
By having that, so I wasn't just craving everything at 10 a.m. I was able to wait a little later in the morning, before I started my meals. So
Well, I think the concept of maybe slowing the process down, I think you didn't slow it down because falling off the wagon would do far more damage than having that protein shake after your workouts in the morning consistently. And it's hard to, you get a hard workout in, and then it's like, I'm going to have eggs and bacon and whatever else I got to do, an omelet for sustenance. You break your fast at that point, and then, the rest of your day becomes a little bit more difficult. So Tyson and I talk about this a lot, being able to add a little bit of infusion of protein after a hard workout. Not a lot, but just enough to settle your stomach and give your body something to settle your blood sugar and just how you're feeling overall to get you through the rest of that fast. So that's awesome that you bring that up. What do you think has been one of the most difficult parts of the program, and not necessarily a negative, but challenging in itself? Because this concept that Tyson's designed, we take a long time, many, many years to get to the shape that we're in when we come into a program like this. And a lot of guys expect, very quick results, and not getting that sometimes is discouraging. What did you find to be maybe one of the most challenging parts starting the program?
Yeah, I think for me, trying to find that balance, right, and stuff. I wanted to try a more vegan approach, right, and stuff. And so for lunches, I would, when I first started, I would use the masala or the lentils,
Mhm.
with it and stuff, and that was good. It was just hard because that increased my carb stuff to hit the balances and stuff. And so I think that first part, I saw some reduction, then I kind of tapered for a little while. So, still made progress, but it slowed down as I was trying to balance. I do good on carbs, and then my sodium was out. Okay, I get sodium in place, and my protein's low. I get protein back up, and it was that balancing, trying to figure out what worked for me, and then get it fine-tuned and stuff. I feel good now and stuff. I'm at a good point now and stuff. I can, it becomes not quite second nature, but kind of like that, where you kind of feel for it. It's like, you know what? I feel like I'm doing okay on my carbs and on my protein, everything, and I can look at my fitness pal and see that, yeah, I'm doing good, and I can plan for the morning or the evening and what I'll eat with the family, and it's you get kind of used to a pattern and stuff, and you kind of know where you're at as well.
Yeah, and that's part of what we really try to teach, is that sustainability, so that it's intuitive when you're picking your meals and you're going out to eat at a restaurant or whatever you're doing, that you can look at it and say, these components are the ones that I need, without pulling out the MyFitnessPal and plugging everything in and looking at the numbers. And, you can intuitively see that piece of chicken that's the right amount. I need this many vegetables, and you can feel comfortable choosing your meal that way, and knowing that when you do plug it in, if you do, it's going to fit the macros and how the program's designed. And then you're not disappointed. Now, Exactly. It takes a while to learn that, that's not an overnight, understanding of how this thing works. And sometimes it can take 2 or 3 weeks to what Tyson and I call hack your body. How are you, as you pointed out, my sodium's off, but my protein's good. My carbs are right, but my sodium's out of whack. To understand how that puzzle goes together, because it does go together for everybody. You have to play with it and be patient. So, did you feel in the beginning that you were making the kind of progress that you wanted to make right away, or was it a process of, really getting into the swing of things to feel like, hey, this is actually starting to work?
The first part and stuff I thought was pretty good. I was really enthusiastic about it and stuff, and tried to do the best I could there. And I did see some success where I dropped, pretty good over the first, month and a half or so. And then come, because I started in October. So December, January and stuff, it came, that's where I was playing with the things, right? Okay, carbs are too high, I get feedback from you, Jeffrey, as a coach, oh yeah, hey, let's adjust this, watch that banana and peanut butter, even though I love it, it's like, use that on our leptin reset day, or let's tweak these things. So I saw some initial benefit, and then it kind of slowed down. But then, my wife kind of pointed out, hey, I'm starting to get the definition again in the muscles, the whatever we call stratiation, whatever, where you can see it on the back, you see it on the body and the arms, the legs again, where my weight wasn't really necessarily dropping by 2 pounds a week, but I was dropping fat loss, and I was getting some muscle definition I haven't had for a long time.
Yeah, there's lean muscle plays a big part in the overall body fat percentage. And when we start to build lean muscle, as I think you found out, is that the needle doesn't move quite as quickly, but the fat percentage moves. And I know that we switched your setting on your scale
Yeah.
from regular setting to athletic setting as we got closer to your goal. And you noticed a significant change in how it was reading your body fat.
Yeah.
I think you had, what was it, like a 6% change or 4%
Yeah.
change just by changing that setting.
Yeah. It would, after, early April, we changed that. It was showing me at right about 19%, 18.9%. I switched it and it's down to 13.3. That
Right.
feels right. That
Right.
felt right to me. So yeah, it was like a 6% drop.
And we do that on purpose, because the heavier we are, the less accurate the athletic setting is. Because we're really looking at, say a guy comes in 270 pounds, the goal is to get the needle to move and to have some overall appearance change and simply lose weight. We're not concerned about lean muscle at that time, or really what the fat percentage number is, because we're going by the body weight at that point. But as you get closer to your goal, that athletic reading is much, much more accurate. And I think, waiting to switch that, because a lot of guys do get frustrated, like, man, I'm at my weight goal, but this body fat is moving in tenths of increments. And then you switch it and they're like, whoa, okay, there we are. And
Yeah.
You're right. It's a feeling, you said that, those your words, that feels right to you, that your body fat should be that close. And so that is that's kind of a little technique that Tyson and I, we remember. We don't talk about it in the beginning because it's not an accurate reading. So
Yeah.
You talk about your wife pointing out, visually how she's noticing you're looking different and seeing the striations and the muscle definition. As far as your support system, I'm assuming your wife is your biggest cheerleader in trying to achieve this. But what have you heard from the rest of your family, your kids, or I don't know how old all your grandkids are, but they all are aware you're going through this process and this journey. What kind of feedback do you get from them?
Yeah, it's been great that they've been excited for me. For the summit, I've shared this with my siblings, my dad, and he actually emailed me today. He's like, yeah, I'm probably too old for that, but I might attend. But he's all, you're looking great. You're looking great, And I had that. I shared that with you, Jeffrey, the before and after, and
Yes.
it's a big difference. And
It is.
I've shared that with my kids and shared my success with them, and they've cheered me on, and their spouses, and it's been fun to have that reward, that acknowledgement for the work that I've done for the last half year.
Because it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy. And I know I mentioned it in one of my Marco Polos to you, but as we achieve these goals, that confidence can't help but build. Yeah. And when that confidence builds, you carry yourself just a little bit differently. And I have noticed that in you from the very beginning of the program until now, that you carry yourself a little differently in the videos. Your shoulders are a little bit broader, and it looks like you feel more comfortable in your skin. And that even though you're not saying, hey, look at me, everybody, be proud of me, you convey that. Because you've had this success. And that's an underlying goal of the program itself, is to be able to help create that. Because what a lot of people don't want to believe is men have body issues just like women do. When we don't feel comfortable in our skin, we're just as self-conscious about how we look, how our clothes feel, how we project ourselves. And the fact that I could notice that in you as a client is just so exciting for Tyson and me to be able to see. There's not just a physical transformation, but there's an entire transformation happening with an individual, and that's so fun.
Yeah, we had our four oldest get married from 2018 to 2020, and I look back at those marriage, the wedding pictures, and it's like, oh look, Dad's got a gut,
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
So
it is, and for me personally, those pictures were the thing that was my catalyst years ago to start transforming myself, looking back at pictures and realizing, oh my gosh, that can't even be me, and of course your family is usually, they're not going to run around and telling you, hey, you need to, you're too fat, dad, you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So it takes a self-awareness to be able to do that. What other programs have you tried before, if any, before coming to the tribe?
Well, that's one of the ways I guess I got caught into the tribe here was I'd kind of look every now and then for men around 50, work out. Okay, what are some options there? And nothing I've seen really made sense. And I'd try some stuff here and there, but not, I'd actually have to do it, I guess, to make it work. But there are times where I would like do a juice fast for 10 days, and I would, my face would clear up, I'd feel good, I'd lose some of the water weight, so I'd drop 10, 12, 15 pounds, over a 10-day period. But then that just wasn't sustainable and stuff. I felt good, and
Right.
enjoyed that process, but it was, kind of a reboot. But then it was, okay, how do I make this permanent and allow it to take it to the next step? And that's where I just didn't have that. And having the tribe, I like the interactions and stuff. My personality, having that support group and stuff, it was really important, to me. For me personally, I really enjoy that, and just seeing Tyson's ad, came up, and I looked at it, showed it to my wife. We talked about it, looked through a couple of the videos on the website, and she's all, I felt I needed to do it, and she said, "Yeah, you've got to do this." And so I called up Tyson and got started.
And that is the kind of testimonial that really excites Tyson, because that's the kind of thing that he wants it to grip somebody like that, and knowing that this is the right program for somebody. Excuse me, because it's not the right for everybody. There's people for a lot of reasons. The program doesn't fit everybody. We're not a fit for everybody else, but it has worked for you. So do you feel, in all honesty, that the nutritional program you've put yourself on and your activity level is sustainable once you graduate from the program? In 2 years from now, do you feel like this has not just been a boot camp, but this is sustainable?
Absolutely. I feel that way. I look forward to getting up in the morning with my wife, and we go work out together. So it's a way for us to connect also, and
Right.
bond together. And just from the meals, the leptin reset days are fun. We're like at work, they have they cater us on Wednesdays. And so I have a leptin reset day Wednesday, so I can enjoy time at work with the team there. And then Saturday, do something with the kids and stuff. We went to Andy's frozen custard last week, and Diane and I shared a cone together. That'd be a lot normally, but okay, it's a weekend. It's a leptin reset day. Let's enjoy that. And I think that's what's been, how I can see that sustainability long term and stuff. Just I'm still going to be mindful of what I'm eating, and it'll be helpful.
Yeah, you bring up the leptin reset day, or sometimes we call it our junk meal days. How do you manage that? Do you treat it as an entire day? Or are you just looking at a meal as being, just kind of loose, not paying attention necessarily my macros for this meal, and I'm just going to enjoy it for enjoyment's sake?
I usually do it as a larger meal. But then I'll or if I was busy or didn't get an opportunity there, I'll just look at increasing the calorie count, trying to keep the especially the protein on track. That the carbs tend to go up on those days. But so it's more along those lines, and then maybe I'll have a second portion of
Okay.
the meal, instead, if we're doing, like a protein spaghetti and some meatballs stuff, maybe I'll grab a few extra meatballs, or if it's some other meal and stuff where, I'll probably do a serving and a half, instead of one.
So you're treating it like Tyson and I like it to be treated. It's not some guys like it's the whole day. Every meal is, I'm eating pizzas and beef sandwiches and ice cream, and they make a whole day out of it. And that's, you can get past it, but it's really designed to, as one free meal of, enjoy your meal within moderation. And it sounds exactly like you've embraced that part of it as moderation. I also do 2 meals a week, that way as well. It just gives your body a chance to, kind of just reset itself and know that you're not trying to starve yourself or do something detrimental.
Yeah. One thing we found too is like, going out with friends to a restaurant, I don't have to have a full entree,
Right.
It's like, let's get one entree and get two sets of dishes. And then I split it with my wife, and we can still be out with friends, and I can still enjoy a meal, but I don't have to have the whole entree that is, a huge plate of food, where I can enjoy half that and enjoy it, with my wife and friends as well.
I found, if I really need to, having them split my food up, or bring a container at the same time they bring my meal,
Oh, that's a good
and
point.
then right away I could separate out half, and then I don't have to think about it. You're not staring at it on your plate as, it tempting you. So what has been one of your biggest temptations food wise since you started this? Is there something that you absolutely crave periodically?
I enjoy toast.
Okay.
So I've at times on my left and reset days, sometimes with the meal, I'll grab some bread and toast. So I do like that. I've also enjoyed bananas and peanut butter. You've caught me on, not caught me, but you've coached me on that in the past, where I've had too many of those within a certain time frame. But those are like a big hitter and stuff. There's, like with this Easter weekend and stuff, I had a few, extra little chocolates and stuff, which are always fun, but I didn't, I don't feel like I went, overboard on that, but I had more than I normally would have, but I didn't feel bad about that either. So.
Well, and you shouldn't, because you've gotten to a point to where your body knows what its new norm is right now. So that's one of the reasons that I bring up the cravings, because your body starts to adjust to what it likes. And you may even find over time your taste buds changing a little bit as to what you thought you liked before, or becoming very sensitive to things like sodium. If you ever go to a ball game and you have a hot dog at a ball game now, you will taste every bit of the sodium that's in a hot dog. And it's just different for me now. Not that I don't eat the hot dog. I do, I confess, but I'm aware of the sodium content in that kind of stuff. So it's funny how our bodies will start to adjust to those things, and to the things that it absolutely doesn't like. And I don't know if you found this, but there's foods I used to eat a lot of that my body will not tolerate anymore, because it's just something that I've eliminated. So even to try to sneak it in, like Taco Bell. I mean, I love Taco Bell. I love it. But I don't eat it because my body says that's not, one, it's not good for you. And two, we're not going to let you get away with it without a consequence. So why do you feel like having a program like this and a coach helped you be more successful now than anything you've tried in the past?
Well, I think, having a coach who's been on that path before to guide me there, being accountable, it's sometimes hard to be accountable, say to a spouse or a significant other, right? Stuff versus versus to you, Jeffrey, right? Where it's like, you care about me, but you're going to tell me, hey, you got to calm down on some stuff here. Let's make some adjustments. I coach, boys high school volleyball. So, as a coach myself too, for not health wise, but it's like at times, you got to, encourage those you're with to get on board to do the work that's needed.
Right.
So I think having that support there has been nice, has been a good part of why I'm at where I'm at. And I think having the group, the tribe, right, is also a part that I enjoy a lot personally myself, and seeing others, who are, having success, maybe having a hard time, or like Greg Johnson going on a hike
Right.
with his buddies and stuff, and it's like, hey, I'm doing a great job. It felt good and was up at the top of the pack, and it's like those are fun things to celebrate with them.
Right. Well, or watching them deadlift 10 million pounds at the gym. They post those videos.
Yeah.
Make all the rest of us feel like little people. So one more question, and we'll wrap up the podcast portion of this. If somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm thinking about the tribe, why should I join the tribe?
I'd say, do you want to, change your body and your mindset and become a better version of yourself? I would encourage them to look hard into joining up with the program and stuff. It's mind, it's body, it's the soul of man, right? Spirit and body together. It's all that, and having that the support system you guys have it structured, and the other tribe members to help and encourage as well. That's really helpful and stuff. And I think just having some life events at times. I lost my brother last November and stuff after I started and stuff. And I love him. He had struggled with his weight his whole life and had a pulmonary issue. And, but that was just like, wow, I want to be around for my kids, my grandkids, and I want to be active. And it was a motivator for me, saying, this is going to help me get to where I want to be and stuff. I want to be more trim. I want to be more, active, more, just involved in life. So I think that this program has helped me to get on that path. And
That's fantastic.
I encourage others.
And I do want to point out to everybody, you started the program in October of last year. So you had Halloween, you had Thanksgiving, you had Christmas, and you had New Year's, all of them right in a row that you had to learn to navigate from infancy in this program. And you've had tremendous success. And that is not a small feat. I point that out because those 3 months of food, it's constant food grazing going on in those 3 months. And those trip up a lot of guys, just because it's hard to navigate through all that. And you're just like family, food, it's all over the place. So I really think of anything that you've accomplished here, patting yourself on the back to navigate through those holidays that way and coming out on the winning end of this thing is a big, big deal. And having you as an example for that for the other guys, because that's a daunting challenge coming into this in October. And you've done a fantastic job. We are at our half an hour point. I got to pull my notes back up here. So any last comments you'd like to make? And then we will jump into somebody's joined here and we will jump into some Q&A.
No, I just, I believe I've shared most of the thoughts I'd had there and stuff. I do enjoy the tribe. I enjoy the connections and stuff. And that as you were saying before, this may not be for everyone, but for some stuff, that's a big piece. And for me, I enjoy connecting with others as well. So that's been a piece that I've really enjoyed and I found unique in this program versus others.
Great. That's fantastic. Well, thanks, Bill. I want to thank you for taking the time just to do the interview this evening. This has been very enlightening to everybody. And I know that it's going to help somebody out there that watches this video when Tyson's able to post it. So thank you so much. So we're going to sign off on the podcast and we'll jump into some Q&As after I stop the recording here. So thank you again. And give me 1 second. Stop.